Hello, and welcome to another episode of Out Loud. I am your host, Anthony Parker. Now, as you all know, this show is about giving the LGBTQ plus community a voice, and often we talk about the importance in having your voice heard and the different ways that you can have your voice heard, such as voting in every election, whether it's local, state, or national. And our first guests joining us today are here to talk about another way that the LGBTQ plus community can have their voices heard. Joining us from the New York State LGBT Health and Human Services Network, or the network, is Network Director Vladimir Tlali and Network Associate Sierra Nicole. You're both here today to talk to us about a few initiatives that the New York State LGBT Health and Human Services Network has. But first, before we jump into everything, tell us what the New York State LGBT Health and Human Services Network does, and it's also known as the network too.
Sure. So we are a coalition of 69 organizations that provide direct services to the LGBTQ community around the state of New York. Um, we are service providers. Most of our members provide services directly to the community. We were founded in order to get more funding to the LGBTQ community that it's not directly related with HIV prevention or treatment, but that actually looks a broader approach to health. So we work a lot with everything related with social determinants of health, mental health, trying to combat social isolation, trying to do cultural sensitivity and cultural humility trainings, and to keep training the government and training legislators and training elected officials. So this initiative that we're going to be talking about today about the survey is very relevant because it's going to be shaping policy in New York State for the next 5 years. So we're really happy and thankful for the opportunity to be here with you now.
Yes, so you brought up the survey. It's the New York State LGBT Health and Human Services Survey. So tell us more about the survey and what it is looking to capture.
The survey is just a list of more comprehensive questions, building you and your identity fully as a human, in terms of how you interact with the world, specifically receiving care and social services, medical services, stuff like that. Because as we said, our network provides social services, mental health services, educational services, legal services. And, the thing that the survey does that, the census doesn't quite do is it asks more about your identity, not just as, a person who, not just as a person, but as a queer person, as a trans person, as a bisexual man, as a Black trans woman, and how that affects the way that you live in New York State. And why that's important is because this type of survey doesn't exist in the country at all. So there's nothing as comprehensive as, this survey, basically. I don't know if Vlad has any more smart words to say about it.
No, definitely. It's a very unique survey. It's the only statewide survey in the country that captures and analyzes the needs of specifically the LGBTQ community. And it's going to be super important for policy shaping because with this information and data that we're going to be collecting, we're going to be advocating for not only better policies in the state level, but also for better protocols of attentions within the organizations that provide direct services to the community. So it's also very unique because it's one of the only surveys in the country, probably in the world, that captures the experience of people as young as 13 years old. And at this moment, when the rights of minors, specifically of TGNC, transgender, gender nonconforming minors, are under attack in many parts of this country and many parts of the world, this survey is providing a space so people can talk about their own needs, can talk about their own experience, and can bring their own information to the people that it's going to be taking these kind of decisions that are going to be impacting them so heavily in their lives. So it's very unique and it's very thorough. So it's not a short survey that you can take in 5 minutes. It's going to take you around 20-25 minutes to complete the survey, but it's the most comprehensive polling exercise that we have created in this country. And I would like to say the world also, because I don't know if we have anything like this in any other part of the world where the government is and yeah, where the government is willing at some moment to negotiate, the conditions that we can have, given that we have some data and we have like reality checks, right? So that's another important thing.
Sure. So, what information should people be prepared to provide? I believe also the survey is anonymous, right?
Yeah, it's a big survey. Again, you're gonna take 25 to 35 minutes. It's easy to read. It's a 7 years old, no, 73 in some scale where you can measure the complexity of texts. Like it is a 7 degree person could like read it and understand it. That's kind of like the aim, that language is not that complicated. But yeah, it's going to take you about like 25, 35 minutes, and you don't need to finish everything. You just need to like finish whatever is the most important for you. But obviously, the more information that we can capture about people, the best data that we can have, and at the end come again with the government, with organizations, and having a more solid position.
Sure. So, now let's talk a little bit about the history of the survey. This is not the first time that the survey has been administered, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
This is the third iteration that this survey has been produced. It was produced in 2010 and 2015 too. The thing in and the very unique like difference that this survey has is that we are moving beyond just asking, "Hey, what is your health status? What are your health needs?" We already know that. Like we already need that queer people in this city and in this country, and especially Black, Indigenous, and people of color have tremendous challenges while getting medical attention. What we want to know is why. Why, for example, we sometimes don't go to the doctor when we need it, even if we know that there's an organization that is providing the kind of services. Is this a stigma? Is this like lack of knowledge? Is this because the transportation is scarce in upstate New York, where it's a very rural situation? So we really want to capture what are the specifics about the how can we not let stigma fill the gap between us as service providers and the people that we want to serve.
Great. And the survey is also available both in English and Spanish as well, right?
Mhm.
Now, there is a deadline also for getting the survey into, and that is approaching shortly, correct?
So the deadline is November 7th. So yes, we have this like big last push of the survey. Hopefully, like the Halloween weekend will kind of bring in and rally some people for, we try to distribute it and have our 69 organizations throw events so that they can, have people with iPads taking the survey and stuff like that. Because sometimes it's easier to take surveys that ask kind of community questions while you are in community, so that the message comes across to amplify your community when you are together. I would say,
Sure.
yeah.
Now, where can the survey be found?
Yeah, that little lower third's going to come up. I think it's nylgbtq.org. Period. See, my memory, nyslgbtq.org. Yes.
NYSQ.org.
And again, it takes like 20, 25 minutes, depending on certain answers that you give, because they will go into the survey will go into more depth based on how you answer. Because to be honest with you, what we know about Black trans women, what the general government populace knows about Black trans women is not as comprehensive, because nobody bothered to ask. So now the government is lending an ear so that we can hear the needs of Black trans people, BIPOC trans people, stuff like that. So it's going to take a little bit, it's going to be a little long, but, put on some TV, put on some music, put on your favorite soundtrack so you can, give people the information that we need to serve you.
It's worth the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also a QR code that you have as well, and we'll have that come up here on the screen too. And so you can take out your phones and scan the screen right now. And it will bring you right to this website, nyslgbtq.org, where the survey is located. So we'll leave that up there for a second. But I want to thank you both for being here to talk about this important survey too. And I want to also talk about another initiative of the network, and it is QUEER. And we'll have the spelling come up here, and it stands for Queer Health Emergency Resources Explorer. And it's basically an online guide that provides many different resources. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So this was an initiative that's a deliverable of our contract for the corporate girls out there that know what that means. And it was part of our communications campaign, and we have all of these 69 organizations across the state, but we had nothing where you could, go to google.com and look up where those organizations were or what services each organization provided. So we put them all together in this big, beautiful resource website to where if you're an older adult that's seeking HIV services, you can, literally specifically go in and find an organization that can help you. And the iteration of this website is only about to just get more exciting, if Vlad wants to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think like last year, with the COVID emergency that we had, we start to see the need to have like a centralized place where people can find the services that they need. And most of these services at the time were virtual, so people from one part of the state could access services in another part of the state, which was a great opportunity. So at the moment, we also built a communications campaign. We made 5 videos with the community showcasing what were the challenges to go through the COVID emergency, also embodying different identities, right? And it's some of the work that we have been doing in the network is also to reflect on our own communities, with in plural, and how the LGBTQ communities precisely are not served in the same way or don't have the same necessities. So specifically the Queer Explorer, you pretty much can go and choose a community that you identify with, and you can find services that are tailored to this community. You can also look by location. You can look by service kind, if it's physical health, if it's mental health, if it's legal. Our members provide a huge array of services. So this was a very timely way to bring together the services provided by our members.
Yeah, it's a great way to bring everything together all in one place that is super easy for everyone to access. And yes, that is the link right there that you can go to if you are looking for any sort of services. And it's statewide, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Well, thank you both so much for being here today and sharing this survey with us. That's very important, encouraging everyone to take it. And this great online resource to finding services.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have our next guest.
Scene 1 of 3, take 1. Here we go.
My name is Wesley. I'm with my knucklehead brother.
My friend Nuffy.
My boyfriend Doug.
I thought we'd be on the same page about this, and we're not.
How do I know the way I'm gonna respond to it?
There's not that long-term research out there yet.
I don't want to be on the front line.
But you're human. You're gonna make a mistake.
I'm just saying everyone has a right to make their own decision.
But why would you want to take that risk?
Can you imagine being the person that goes to somebody's house and gives them a virus that kills them?
What if you end up in the hospital?
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of.
If you was to die, man, that would literally kill me, man.
If it made you feel that way, bro, I'll probably do.
Can I hug you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Love you too.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To
get to know each other.
On a deeper level.
Father.
Cosplayer.
Mentor.
Actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
And discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
It's time to make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines. The dangerous new Delta variant is more than twice as contagious as the original virus and can affect anyone. Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations and deaths from COVID are among unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated might save your life, and there's now an option that's fully approved by the FDA. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
Our next guest joining us is the CEO of the clothing brand BoiPKG, a clothing brand that is not limited by the constructs that society has on gender. Please join me in welcoming Shareef Hadid Jenkins.
Hello.
Hello, Shareef. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. So start off just telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got your start in fashion.
Well, I'm Shareef Hadid Jenkins. If you couldn't tell, I am from Muslim American parents. And my great-grandmother had a millinery shop in Philadelphia. She was the first Black woman to ever own a business that had more than one business in Philadelphia. And she taught my dad how to sew, and then I learned how to sew. And at 40 years old, I started a company called BoiPKG, which is a gender-free, non-binary clothing brand that the model is wear clothes that make you feel you. There is no judgment. We love all body types, all gender expressions, and that's me.
Yeah, great. So now talking about BoiPKG, how did you come up with the name? It's spelled BoiPKG. So tell us a little bit about it.
So BoiPKG, BOI, because you own your identity. When I was figuring out what to do with I wanted to start a business, and I'm part of the gay and lesbian band called the Big Apple Corps here in New York City. And we were all gathered around and we were talking about like underwear. Who do we sell it to? Who's not represented? And when I look on social media, I see a lot of gay, white, cis men with their bodies looking beautiful, standard, the societal standard beauty. And so we were like, what can we do to who's not being represented, which is trans masc individuals. And so we thought boy, and we looked online and we saw a lot of people used BOI. And we thought reclaiming your identity with the I. So that's how we came up with BoiPKG. Yeah, and thank goodness for being in this gay band, the Big Apple Corps, because we were surrounded with everyone from lesbians, bisexuals, transsexuals, asexuals, and we all brainstormed this together. So it was kind of like a community effort to come up with this name.
Great. Now tell us about just some of your pieces that you have for the brand. And I know it's, you've really worked on making sure that everyone in the community is visible.
Yes. So first of all, everything that I design can be custom for every single body with choices like if you wear a packer, we add a pocket for a packer. If you need a gaff, we'll sew in a gaff in for you. No matter what kind of body you have, we will make it. I wanted to make sure that was like the bottom line of everything that I designed. So the past year, I've been obsessed with mesh. So I've done a lot of power mesh, a lot of honeycomb mesh, and all of these things are breathable. So if you're a person who sweats too much, you will have the most amazing air flowing through. If you're a person who is cold all the time, there's all these layers that also go with it, with everything that I make. So it's like multiple pieces that you can put on top of each other, and all good for every single gender expression, every single body type. And yeah, that's one thing that I love about doing what I do, is representing everyone in our community, because it's about us. Like, what's the point of making clothes because clothes have no gender, and clothes are for you to make you feel however you want to feel that day.
Yes. Now, also talk to us about some of the proceeds that go towards charity as
Oh,
well.
yeah. So when I started this business, I wanted to do something that I wanted to wake up and be excited about. And it's not just about making money, it's about giving back to the community. When I was younger, I was a runaway kid, and I was taken in by this youth group called the Addict Youth Group in Philadelphia. And they helped me get a job. They helped me find housing with other gay, youngsters. And I went to high school and worked and lived in a group of gay guys in Philadelphia. And I wanted to first start with giving back to them. And so we donated $5 from every sale of our branded boy package boxers to the Addict Youth Group. And then, as time went on, we donated to the Black Travel Trans Fund. And November 6th of this year, at 6 p.m. at $3 bill, we are having a fundraiser fashion show. It's our new fall winter collection. And we're donating.
We'll get more into that.
Okay.
Yes.
We're donating money also with that as well.
Yes, great. That's great. Now, I also want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about, you've mentioned to me sort of the struggles that you've run into in promoting your brand on social, because some of the photos, have been wrongly deemed, inappropriate. And this is a thing that we see happen very commonly across many different social platforms of LGBT content being censored and being deemed incorrectly as sexual nature when it's really not, and maybe just features even two people of the same gender kissing or something. So tell us a little bit about all what you've experienced and how you've navigated all of that.
So in the beginning of advertising on social media, I found that a lot of things that I put up were taken down, and there were no reasons. And then all of a sudden, I think Facebook bought Instagram, and all of a sudden there were all these rules, and they had examples of pictures like a statue of David, and I'm like, why? Yeah, there's no need for that. Like a statue, like, okay, so I'm not going to put any statues up. But I saw all of these cis men with their in their underwear and thongs with naked with a towel over them, and I was posting pictures of trans men after post-op and just shirtless with pants on, with the boy package underwear sticking out of the pants, and that was being taken down left and right. There was a Valentine's Day ad where I had two trans people, non-binary, and they had mustache, but they also had boobs. They had complete clothes on. That was taken down. And it just angers me, infuriates me that I can see all of this cis white gay male, or even just cis male bodies with just a towel covering their midsection all over the place, all over Instagram. You could see Kim Kardashian's boobs on Instagram, but I can't post, or I've been banned for advertising just for having trans bodies. Like, that's the only thing that's been taken down. It's not like I had anyone nude or even with a towel over them. And I talk to other people that have businesses that service the trans community, and this has happened to them too. So this is a thing that is hard to tackle when you have social media companies that say that they promote diversity and they're for diversity, but then they police trans bodies. And this is just an ongoing thing that we're trying to figure out how to navigate. It's hard being a company that relies on social media, not being able to advertise on Instagram or Facebook, and having to rely on word of mouth. But we're just doing the best that we can.
I want to talk about the fashion show that you have coming up that you mentioned. It is on November 6th. So tell us about it. What can people expect from this fashion show?
So I'm very, very, very excited. We were thinking, should we do a fashion show this year? And we usually do Fashion Week, and we decided to just hold off and people get situated with how they're going to be this fall with all of the things that are going on. And we've decided to fundraise for Gender and Family Project, which is an organization that provides mental health services for trans youth and their parents. And they also go into underserved communities to help trans youth of color, Latinx, and they do groups in Spanish. And so we wanted to raise money for them, but also the Black Trans Femme Collective, which is a collective of Black trans femme who support Black trans femme artists. And so November 6th is my new fall winter collection. We're going to have the Cake Boys perform, Tina Twirler, who has won multiple drag competitions throughout New York City and beyond, and Michael Love Michael, a lot of indie artists and amazing drag kings and queens. And so it's going to be a spectacular show. Starts at 6 p.m. November 6th at $3 Bill in Bushwick/Williamsburg. So I'm very, very excited about that. And also, you can go to $3 Bill website or BoiPKG, any of our profiles, for a link, and you can buy a ticket even if you're not able to come, because a ticket is a donation to these things that we're protecting trans kids and supporting Black femmes.
Tell us a little bit, what can people expect from the fashion? What is I don't know if you have a theme or anything for this collection.
Oh, I wish I had it next to me. So during the summer, I got inspired from African print. And so there's a lot of things around, a lot of politics around African print that I necessarily don't agree with. I don't believe that one race of people should wear African print, especially because African print is from South Asia. But I wanted to play around with the concept of all of these patterns and use patterns that aren't necessarily African print, but remind you of the beauty that comes in African print and wax print. And so that's where we started. And I love the animal prints, like cheetah prints, zebra prints, and we're just putting that all together. And I can't wait till it walks down the runway. Lots of flowy things, lots of wax prints, and I love playing around with shapes, different silhouettes that you can use, useful silhouettes, things that look fashion and runway, but also have a purpose, whether it's holding your phone or keeping you warm.
Okay, well, that is exciting. So the fashion show is November 6th at $3 Bill. You can get more information on $3 Bill's website, right, you said, or BoiPKG's website, which is BoiPKG.com.
BoiPKG.com. Also on all social media platforms, BoiPKG. Except TikTok,
Great.
It's BoiPKG NYC.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for being here, Shareef, and sharing more about your brand and this exciting fashion show you have coming up.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. All right. Remember that you can stay up to date with all things Out Loud on our website, outloudtalk.com, on social media at Facebook at OutLoudLGBT, on Instagram at OutLoud.tv, and on Twitter at OutLoudLGBTTV. And if you are an LGBTQ plus person or organization and would like to come on the show and share your story or the work that you're doing for the community, feel free to submit using the Be on the Show tab at the top of our website. And remember, being your true self is your greatest gift to the world. We'll see you next time here at Out Loud.